My name is Jack Paul. I've been here at Lee Street Church for about 8 or 9 years. We came on Palm Sunday, my wife and I, at one point, and we just absolutely love the music and stuff. We're very fortunate, too, to have known quite a few of the people. In fact, there are 8 graduates from my high school class at Calvin Christian that are all members of this church. So it was easy to get to know people, and we enjoyed it right from the beginning. All except for the last year of my life here now, I have been living in the city of Wyoming. I grew up just a few blocks from here on the street that runs right along 8th Reformed Church. We went to 8th Reformed Church for the whole time. And after we were first married, we were there. But once our kids got going in Granville Christian schools, they wanted to go to a church that they could be with their friends for Sunday school, etc. So we switched to Fellowship Christian Reformed Church in Granville, and we were there for about 20 years. And then we just, time for a change again, and some friends, classmates said, try Lee Street. So we came over here, and it was real natural because I've had the good fortune of owning a business here in the neighborhood right on Burton Street. It was called Pfeffer's Pharmacy. I had started working there when I was 14 years old, just stocking the pop cooler and filling bags up and that type of thing. I'd work about maybe 5 or 6 hours a week. And then that went on to my interest in pharmacy, went to pharmacy school, and then came back and started working there as a pharmacist. Then when it was time for the gentleman that owned it to retire, I had the opportunity to buy it. And so I did own it for just about 20 years that I was the owner of the pharmacy right here in the neighborhood. And so there are members of Lee Street Church, which were my customers also. So I knew quite a few people when I was here. And after I had been a pharmacist for a number of years, one of my customers came in and said, "Why don't you run for the city council in the city of Wyoming?" I thought, yeah, I was always kind of interested in the political world too, so I did that. I ran for one of the open seats, and fortunately won that on my first attempt. And so I did that, ran for the city council, got elected to a 4-year term, and then our mayor was thinking about retiring here. So I said, yeah, I'll throw my name in the hat. And so I did that for mayor. Unfortunately, I was defeated then. So I ran 2 years later again to get back on the city council. Then I served 2 years on the council again of a 4-year term. Then I ran for mayor and then got elected. And then I had the good fortune to be the mayor the next 13 years. So great experience. Was fun to make decisions that affected a big group of people. And at that time, during that time, I ended up selling my pharmacy and went to work for Family Fare Spartan Stores in Byron Center. And that's where I ended my career. What I remember of Lee Street Church was always coming every year to the Memorial Day service. That was something that was really big in this community, and so I went to that every year. Lee Street was always, whenever we'd talk at the city and stuff like that about can we get community involvement and stuff, so often we would always think of the churches that were in the neighborhood, and Lee Street always came to the top of the list because they always were active in the community. They were active in the school, and so we appreciated, their position here and right dead in the middle of the neighborhood, that they were able to do so many things for the community. Myself and like I said, my classmates and all that, we're all in our 70s now, and a concern for me is the next step. Where are the people that are going to take up those spaces? I know this year we even had some difficult times trying to get a full slate and stuff for elders and deacons. Everybody in the church has got to be involved. And so no matter what their age or what they've done in the past. We need to keep people involved. I know it's really hard, as we had at the city too. I tried so very hard to get Hispanic people involved in the city, in different, getting them involved in different aspects, different committees, different boards and stuff in the city. But it was so very hard to get them to participate in things. And so I think that's a little problem with the church. We've worked really hard with a separate service and all this type of stuff, but we really need to, if we're going to be this community church, we really need to get some buy-in from a larger group of people. It was coming here was a mutual decision with my wife and I. Unfortunately, about 4 years ago, we did divorce, and when that happened, I didn't go to church for over a year. But during that whole time, every week, I met with Pastor Steve, and he was just such a blessing. We would just sit and really talk, and so many people had gone kind of against me through this divorce, including family and stuff. And Steve was just there every week to build me up and get me going for another week, which was, so appreciated by me. And then he was trying to encourage me to get back to church. And so we talked about different places where I might try to go. And then one time we were in December, so that was probably 15 months after my divorce, he said to me, "Well, would you consider coming back here?" And I thought, yeah, how are people going to react when I come back here? But I said, well, I'll try. So on Christmas Day, I did come back, worked with Raj and Judy Hahn doing the meal. Raj and Judy Hahn were so important in my life during that time, and still are. And so I had started going, and I've been here every Sunday then. The people in this church have just had their arms open to me. I haven't had any ill comments made to me or heard anything at all. And so I've gotten more and more involved now again, and I just enjoy coming here.